Raise your horns high and let your spirit flow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show. Feel the rush, let the loudness grow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show.
Take photography.
Yeah.
Brought his kid who had also gotten a photo pass, and then as he was getting through security, they're like, well, wait a minute, this is 21 plus, and he was like, what? So he actually had to go, and at that point, because he had to shoot straight across town, which would have probably taken him in like an hour or something by the time he got back, and he goes, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna miss the first couple bands. And he really wanted to see Midnight and Dark Angel, but he was like, at this point I kind of just do like a half-ass job to just shoot part of the bands. He was wanting to shoot everybody, but didn't get that chance. But so that was too bad. I think had they opened
there's
it up,
probably there's probably a few people that got turned away at the door who had younger people with them, or young people thinking they were going to come to the show.
But there we go, we got Mr. Crenshaw. I did see him, and he was hanging out with Ira Black. So this is Ira. But yeah, there's Mr. Rock.
You can tell by the hair.
Yeah, Mr. Rock and Roll, though. I mean, and it's interesting because Crenshaw's not even into this type of music. I don't think he could name a song by any of these bands, or even pick out a member out of a lineup for any of these bands.
Yeah,
so
probably because of the Ira connection, though, with his current band is so they had to go down.
There's another angle.
Yes, there you go. There's and I mean, I think you guys are seeing here a striking similarity to my older brother Wendell.
Right.
There's a very Don has a particular type for his handlers. Like I said, we're still searching for the East Coast. There's an East Coast handler. There has to be an East Coast handler, or maybe there's a Southern handler who goes through from Texas to Florida with them or something. So if you're out there and you've assisted Don on tour and you want to chime in, we would love to hear from you, because there's got to be more than Dan and Wendell. There has to be others.
Oops.
We know you're out there.
I guess that was it. But anyway, so that's
a good time.
There you go. I mean, it was good. I think overall, like I said, I think Violence was fucking great. Haven't not seen them in a bit. They were supposed to be, I think they were going to be here last year, and something happened. I think they postponed it and never really got rescheduled, but I'm glad they came along with this particular package. I mean, again, that's a lot of bands to see. It almost reminds you of like an LA type gig, right, where they stack the bands and you have like 5 bands before you get to the headliner. But I mean, I think it was worth it. Like I said, I didn't get to see Interceptor, but I did hear some of the music from downstairs when I was down there. But definitely check out Midnight. I think that's a pretty cool band. Managed to grab a couple of their, I think they only have 2 CDs, but grab those.
Are they a local Portland band, or are they on tour with this package?
Yeah, they're on tour with this package. I think they're from Cleveland, actually. So they're from Ohio. So you're missing out, CMS. You should have picked up on these guys, because they're from your area.
Should have been all over this. Yeah.
Right.
This is, some of these metal stuff is right up Aiken's alley.
Instead, he was all over that cheese pizza or pepperoni pizza or something. But
or checking out Plush to see if they got the right tops on, and making sure that they got
right. Yeah, but no, I think you can't go wrong. I think Dark Angel, again, I think they've gotten a lot of shit for the new album. It is kind of different. It's more of a, their traditional kind of dark thrash, I think, is what how I describe them. This one's more modern. I think it's almost kind of takes a little bit of a modern spin to the thrash. The production's a little different. I think when a band's been gone for a bit and they come back and do something that's more modern, it always takes a little bit of time to digest. And the fact that their album is really only available through the label, like it's not on streaming platforms. You only get physical product, vinyl, CD. I think you can buy the download. but you have to do it through them. That's the only place you can get it. So they're totally controlling that, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, it's a financial thing, and good for them for figuring out something that works for them. I think the one thing that did happen was that there was a little bit of a production related snag where the album was supposed to be released back in September, and I think they had some of the some of the orders prepped to go, but then the CDs didn't show up, and they had the vinyl, and then they had to kind of put it on hold and not ship anything out until they had everything. But it sounds like from talking with them last night that they're filling the pre-orders this coming week. So I think those things will start showing up here in the next, 5-10 days for people that ordered the pre-orders. And they didn't even have their new album for sale because they're filling the pre-orders still. I had pre-ordered the damn thing and I'm still waiting on it, but the cool thing is if you ordered the physical stuff, whether it's the vinyl, whether it's a CD, they did send you a download for the album and you can check it out that way. So there you go.
Right on. Well, there you go. Yeah, and I mean, at this point in time, that's kind of you only got a couple of options on how you're going to handle the whole album release thing and digitally versus obviously for them as a band, what you want in the end is hard product in your hands, going to your fans' hands or at your merch table or wherever else you can get it out there, your store. So digital store. So, do you have anything else going on over there in your world? We lost your mic.
I'm looking at the Crippled Claw.
Oh yes,
for October.
October.
I was trying to pull that, and I was going to see what you think. I mean, it's kind of a limpy looking thing.
No, it's legit.
It's a claw.
There you go, ladies and
Looks
gentlemen.
Looks like she's showing a ring though.
Yeah.
But who do you think the claw belongs to?
Well, it looks like Washington. We see that. Oh, well, I think we
the Crippled Claw for
October. Scary, October. And she got the orange October hair to go with it
she's
for
got
you
the
there.
October orange hair. So there you go.
And her face looks like a creepy, disappointed mask or something.
Yeah,
she's clearly disgusted with whatever they were suggesting at the time.
I don't know what they asked, but there's the Crippled Claw. Except she's not really crippled. I think she's making stolen valor. It's stolen.
Yeah. Well. At least it fits for what we're using it for in this category, and she's clearly displaying someone who's got the Dawn type of condition.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. Should we go with the new? Could you play the new segment that I shared secretly with you and Andrew? Or should we go for that first episode now and we share an episode next weekend?
Yeah, we can try and see. Hopefully the internet doesn't fuck up because it's become kind of a thing.
The good news is we could do this. If we have a glitchy internet when I do the
you could always insert
I could
it, right?
Sub in the real video in there so they could see that. So
I wonder if you could sub in the Bella thing. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like
I might be able to do that.
I might be able to do like a little clip.
Yeah. And sometimes I think it feels like in here when we're doing it, me and you, sometimes I think there's glitches and I go watch it on the replay and half of the glitches aren't really there when it's finally because maybe that happens sometimes too. So a couple of times I thought for sure on my end I was getting a glitch. I would see it on the screen later on the editing process, but it didn't show up. So let me just see here. Let me see. I'm going to try to do this for you real quick here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the fly here. If I have to edit this out later, we will, but I'm going to send this to you on your Facebook Messenger, and then maybe hopefully you can just click on it, and it should bring it right up.
Unsolved Mysteries of the CMS, brought to you by the Classic Metal Wrap Up Show. In this episode, can a 400-pound man ski? Edition of Unsolved Mysteries of the CMS, we will explore whether a 400-pound part-time internet radio DJ can even get on 2 pieces of wood and ski anywhere on the planet Earth. story starts with a man in suburban Ohio who worked as a part-time internet radio DJ known as Angry Aiken. Over time, he ballooned to over 400 pounds, eating convenience store food from the business sheets on a daily basis. One night on his radio show, he made shocking claims that he was actually active Aiken, and he enjoyed skiing. Many online chat rooms and forums became abuzz with people from the CMS asking, could a 400-pound man actually ski? For this segment, we contacted the United States Coast Guard commander, who agreed to go on the record, but only anonymously. Thank you for coming on tonight's show, Commander. We only have one question for you. Is there a vessel strong enough to get a 400-pound man out of the water to water ski?
Well, first off, I want to thank you for having me on the show. I'm glad I could help you. Unfortunately, I don't know of any water vessel, any cutter currently in the United States Coast Guard fleet that would have the engine power, the horsepower, the torque and strength to hoist a 400-pound payload out of the water, especially to water ski.
So what you're saying, Commander, is that this feat is not even possible.
That is correct. I don't think it would be possible. The laws of physics would take over, and the amount of force might cause the skier to have their arms either dislocated from the shoulders or ripped entirely from their torsos, which would be a horrific scene that no one would want to see. Any cutter would not have the power to pull such a weight, and any freighter or barge or tugboat would not go fast enough to get the person up to skiing speed. In my opinion, this is not something that's even possible.
So not only is it not advised, but it's not even possible, and if it were, it could be catastrophically dangerous to the person attempting to ski at 400 pounds.
Yes, and even if they were to get out of the water, if they were to crash back into the water, I would be concerned that any lake or reservoir might have not enough water, or if it did, it would create a tsunami-like wave effect, taking out innocent bystanders on the shore.
We appreciate you coming on the show tonight, Commander. We value your input. Thank you for your service to our country, and may God bless you. We then had to ask ourselves, did we get the wrong type of skis for active Aiken? Could it be possible that active Aiken was referring to snow skiing up and down a nearby slope of a mountain? And is there a mountain big enough in the state of Ohio for active Aiken to seek out his skiing adventures? We then reached out to a young, anonymous ski lift operator on the slopes of the Sierra Nevada mountains outside South Lake Tahoe, California, and we asked him one question. Could a 400-pound man be lifted up the mountain so he could ski back down?
Simply put, no. The lift that I operate has a 299-pound weight limit, and anyone in excess of that could cause the lift to fail and put people at risk. Not to mention if a 400-pound person got to the top of the mountain and they came back down and they crashed, they could turn into a giant snowball, and it could lead to like almost an avalanche effect, taking out multiple other skiers and possibly the lodge down below. It would just be too dangerous.
Well, there you have it. It would not be possible for a 400-pound man to get to the top of the mountain on a lift in order to ski back down. Was this all a ruse by Aiken? Was this some kind of a sham? Or some kind of radio shtick? In summation, we have to ask ourselves if a 400-pound man is too large for the weight restrictions on a ski lift to take him up the mountain to snow ski back down, and he is much too heavy for any United States Coast Guard cutter or Navy vessel to hoist out of the water to water ski. What kind of skiing was he doing? Please join us on the next edition of Unsolved Mysteries of the CMS, where we uncover a man who used more prophylactics than anyone could ever possibly afford.
What production value? I mean, that has more production value than what these guys are doing, and they have all the gear. I mean, fuck.
It just was something that our producer, I should mention this, or our producer Andrew helped put it in my mind, was an Unsolved Mysteries, because there is a lot, as we discussed in our little private chat, us three, there's a lot of mysteries with the CMS that could be uncovered here. There's a lot of people that have vanished off the show into thin air, and other stories and things they've told that just made you kind of go, huh? How'd that work out? And so we'll be examining those, and we've kind of compiled a short list of some that we're to start working through. And we figure, even though Aiken has tech issues, and we have them here too, we're on an internet connection, it can happen. I think these other video things, though, we can supplement in here and give you guys some quality, almost sketch comedy type of things in here. And but at the same token, he was the one that said that if he had a boat or someone, then there's the point of the boat is to go skiing. And then that was just something that he's done. And I was just like, you don't even leave the house to go to Sheets. How are you? That's as far as you're traveling. How are you climbing on some skis?
Do you think that was during his military days? Because I think that was kind of his prime, right?
I was wondering if he was referencing something 30 years ago, but the way he made it mention, it was like, well, if you're going to have a boat, we're going skiing. And I'm like, tomorrow. And I was like, and even if in his military days, I don't know, how much skiing could he do in Korea?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're asking, when I start logistically asking these questions. So then, and I thought maybe we have the wrong kind of skis. Maybe he was just referencing in general. Maybe he does is there mountains in Ohio? I don't live in Ohio. I've never been to Ohio.
Same here.
Maybe there's a mountain he could go hit and snow ski once in a while. Maybe secretly in his garage, there's a set of water skis and snow skis just, sitting up there in case the time comes around and he wants to go hit the slopes. I don't know. Or hit the wake, I guess the case may be. But it was just a one of those things that was said and made me go, me and Andrew, everybody in the chat, what the hell is he talking about?
What the hell's he talking about? Right.
Skiing? You're a very big man, Aiken. You're, I mean, wider than I am, and I'm a tall, big guy. You're even more width-wise, so I can't get on skis. How are you getting on skis? As the Coast Guard commander told you, might rip his arms right off his body if he got the right kind of boat to pull that weight out of the water.
No shit. And then I like the touch of getting the ski lift kid to
that was I just had to make a couple of calls, but Squaw Valley didn't want to go on the record, so I had to get the kid, tell the kid to call me after work and tell me if this is possible. And he was like, no, there's a weight limit on this fucking thing, and that's my job, is to make sure you don't exceed the weight limit, otherwise we could have people tumbling down the mountain.
No shit.
So ladies and gentlemen, so next week we're gonna have a couple of them. We'll have 2 of them this month, and maybe we'll do 1 or 2 next month. We'll just kind of keep it as a reoccurring segment, but next weekend for sure we're going to be exploring what Evil Stack talked about at the end, which is there a man who could use that many prophylactics over the course of his life? So, and
this is all leading up to Ghoul Talk too, because
we will have Ghoul Talk coming up. I think as we get closer to Halloween, we'll be doing some other spooky, creepy conversations and topics that are not always explored. When they are even mentioned sometimes on the CMS, it does make us who listen go, well, I wish they would explore that more. What are they talking about there? They're referencing these things, but because Wendell made it very clear a couple times that he's a condom man. He's always going to be safety first in that regard. So if you're 60 something years old and and then I went through some audio, and we'll try to see if I can dig this up. But he was referencing one of those girls. He was having it with 5 times a day. That was his quote on the show: 5 times a day, every day. And so I'm thinking, so you're going to the economy boxes of these things. So we're going to explore all this because this is a lot to digest. Yeah,
I find that hard to believe.
Well, we're going to have to explore whether this is even statistically possible. You know,
Right.
maybe get a mathematician or someone, or a professor or someone to help us break this down. And you know, he wasn't with that girl forever, but we'll have to just do the numbers. If he's with her for 6 months or a year or 2 years, well, how much sex and condoms are you using? And then in his course of his life, you'd have to ask yourself: is he hitting the CVS once a week and buying a box? What is he doing here? So. That's a lot of money being spent for safety.
Buying them in bulk on Amazon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess maybe. But he's obviously, this is as nearly 60 something years old. So he started doing this in the 80s when you had to go down to the 7-Eleven or the Walgreens or the drugstore or whatever it would be in his area, right?
The health department. You just grab a fistful.
Yeah, so something's going on there, but we'll explore these options and that in the next episode. And we have a short list. I won't get into all of them, but some things you guys are definitely going to want to be apprised of, and things that you've probably explored in your mind, wondering how did that work out or where did that person go? And we're going to dive into that onto the unsolved mysteries of the CMS. So
yeah,
I think you got anything else for him?
You know, the only thing I was thinking of is I don't think we talked about this last week. The hair metal guru. Remember, he had Stevie Rochelle on there, and he mentioned that he was asked to sing in Poison. So maybe we should sneak that one in, because I know he was also on Aiken's show. No, actually, he said it on Cap, right? He said it on Cap, but then the guru now has him for 4 hours, I guess, or something.
For those lengthy conversations,
right? Now Andrew watched the Cap episode because he's a fan of that. I'm not. I just can't stomach the whole goofiness of the Count Chocula or Grampula kind of character.
I think maybe if it's an interview with Stevie where they stick to the interview and music, I might be able to sit through that segment, and I'll search that up tonight, maybe at work, and check it out. But when he gets into the movie reviews or all these other the candy eating stuff, I'm just not into any of that stuff.
Right. But what do you think of that? Because it was brought up on Cap that Stevie was asked to step in during that period of time where I think there was the Bobby Doll on stage fight, right? I think
altercation.
Yeah, they had that altercation. I don't know. I mean, I know Andrew has his opinions on that, but what's your take on that?
I could see because now I'm just shooting this out there. You know, from what I understand in Poison, Bobby does always seem to have a pretty big role with business and management of the band and that kind of stuff, which I think has always been a little bit of the loggerheads with their whatever heads butting with Bret Michaels sometimes, whatever. So could I see him coming off the stage after an altercation with the knucklehead frontman as a bass player and saying, I got this many tour dates I'm contractually obligated to do, and I don't know if I can do them with this guy, and he's threatened to climb on the bus and drive off to his old solo show somewhere else. Ricky, CC, do you guys want to eat this money and be sued and do this and that? Or do you want to get a guy and say, hey, we had to fill in because someone's out sick, or someone's had this, or what diabetic issues arose and we had to get a fill-in frontman for a couple of shows? Could I see that happening? Yeah. Do I know if Stevie's the guy to call? I don't know. I mean, I could see him being on a short list, probably, 4 or 5 guys that you would give a call to, and maybe Stevie's the one who picked up the phone. I don't know. Would he be my top choice? That's a tough call. Bret Michaels is a weird person to consider replacing. I don't think that's
and if you remember, they'd already tried that, not as Poison, but they brought in what's his name, Brandon Gibbs. Remember they did I think they might have done like a couple gigs, and I think it was just kind of fizzled, but that was enough to get Bret Michaels' attention, and he was like, okay, well, let's reform Poison. And I think then they reformed Poison after that. But I mean, you're right. I mean, the singer's always the tough one to replace, and whether that would have I guess it was what, in 2006 or something like that was the
It was,
timetable.
yeah, somewhere between
I
5
mean,
and 10, I'm imagining.
yeah, and I think at that point, I mean, those bands were kind of having a hard time selling tickets anyway, right? And
Yeah.
and getting their music sold too. It wasn't flying off the shelves, so I don't
It
know.
was the end of that wave. There was a wave in the late 90s to the very early O's, whatever, that those kinds of bands were getting back popular because they hadn't been, grunge had taken over, and they finally kind of climbed their way out. Like I said, the rock never stops towards these things
Mhm.
started bringing some of these
Right.
bands back at package deals you can go see. And by that time, yeah, there was still, but it was, I think that way was, like I said, starting to go back down a little
Mhm.
bit there for a while, and there wasn't that same popularity anymore. And most of them have gotten back together and done a few runs, and you realize, well, how much gas they
Mhm.
got left in the tank here.
Right.
Some of them released horrible albums. Is that when did they release the Holly Weird? Was that during that
Let me
period?
look. I don't.
I don't know. Before or
Let me
after?
look.
That was an album
Yeah,
I
that
would
was a
never.
fucking shitty record, man. Jeez.
So that's what I'm saying. Somewhere in there, when they had the reunion, they released a couple of products that made them go, I'll go see you live, but I'm not listening to what you're putting out to
Oh, that
my
was in
ears."
2002. So yeah, that was
Okay,
after
so there you
that.
go.
So yeah, they were
Mm.
struggling. I mean, I know that album was a total turd. Ugh.
That was yeah, and by then I had already seen them reunite, and because I want to say it was 99 or 2000,
Mhm.
98, somewhere in there.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw them with Cinderella and
Mhm.
Dawkins and Slaughter. I think it was a package tour they were on
Right.
with Poison. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. Can I see it happening? Yes. Do I calling complete bullshit? No, I don't. I wouldn't go that far. I think there could be some truth to it. Whether that was actually going to happen is a whole other
Right.
story. And
Sure.
more like,
And it,
hey, would you be available if this guy
yeah.
doesn't come back tomorrow?
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go over the songs.
Just be on standby. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And
Make
who
sure you
knows?
can
Yeah.
get that cat dragged in right when you get in here.
And would that have also been like a dig at him, right? Because I think at that point, Stevie had that history of kind of exposing some of those bands from that era, and he'd be like, "Holy shit, I don't want that getting out."
Yeah, and
Let's
Stevie,
mend the fence.
if you were just going to go visually,
Right.
Stevie at the time Tough came out was
Sure.
as close visually to Brett as you're going to get with the blonde
Right.
hair and the bandanas and the shirtless stuff and the jeans and all the dancing around. So yeah, I mean, I can see for all those reasons. I'm just wondering
Sure.
at the time frame we're going into. But again, I'm guessing this was a situation where Bobby's thinking of it more like, not like, hey, you're in Poison, more
Sure.
like, hey, we got to get through 5 shows,
Right.
dude, or whatever's left on this run, because he
Mhm.
might be out the door. And I'm looking at a situation where I don't want to lose the dough that's been advanced to me. I don't want to be contractually sued by some promoter, and I don't want the shit on my face of canceling shows. So can I get a temporary frontman to cover because Brett had this or
Right.
whatever? I don't know. We've had the spat and he's out the door. We don't know if he's coming back, but we're going to do this so we could get through the show.
Right.
Probably. I think it's possible.
Right.
Highly. I mean, again, how many other guys would you call besides Stevie?
To fit that? I mean, no,
Yeah.
not many. I mean, I think that Brandon Gibbs guy did a pretty decent job, but in a different way. I mean, I think
He played guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely more of a well-rounded performer, where Brett just kind of does his thing. But yeah,
Maybe
he does
I
play
can
guitar,
see.
but no.
Yeah, I can see a world where maybe Stevie got a call. Would you call a Mark Torian? Would Mark, hey Mark,
Oof.
can you come over here? Well, but think about it, though, Poison music doesn't require a lot of range.
No,
Brett is
it
not known
doesn't.
for having some.
It doesn't.
A lot of it's just party, sing along the chorus stuff. I
Mhm.
mean, so I don't know. I think there's some guys out there who, not the saying they're the best singer, but they could probably get up there and do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I think the
Yeah.
problem they would run into in all of these situations that we all know is that there's 50% of this crowd for Poison's chicks, and they're there for a couple of guys in the band that they know that they're fans of. Every one of these chicks, if you talk to them, oh, it's Cece, oh, it's Bobby, oh, it's Ricky, whatever. There's a dude in the band, and Brett
Yeah.
is a big part of that. So there'd
Right.
be X number of chicks. Brett's not here. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, if this guy could get all those dingbats in the Rock of Love buses for multiple seasons to fight it out over his
Right.
Johnson, I'm sure there's some
While-
backstage as well,
while-
right?
While he's in an actual relationship with somebody. I mean, that's bizarre to me. It's like, that was always bizarre that he had this actual relationship with this woman who he had kids with and was on this show. I mean, who signs up for that? Like, let's say maybe Neely, right? Because he's a cuck. But think about
maybe
that.
they have an open relationship where he's
Well,
able to
maybe.
just do what he wants on the road, and then when
But you don't
he's
see
home,
that
he has
with
to be
people
Mr.
that have kids. You know, I mean, at that point, those kids were kind of, you know, preteens or whatever, and that's just kind of bizarre to me. But whatever.
I agree with that because if you remember, if you at all, you know, I'm a Kiss geek. If you ever watched the Simmons Family Jewels, I very clearly remember Shannon saying, "Well, when before the kids, I let you kind of do whatever because I was this way and you were that way. But now that we've had kids and we're living together all this time, you are going to marry me and you're no longer allowed to go do what you're going to do, Gene. Otherwise, I'm out the door." So, you know, yeah, it could happen, and you know.
And since
who
you
knows?
brought Gene up, we might as well talk about his little fender bender. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, and quite frankly, again, I got to go back. We got Ace down with a possible
yeah.
stroke, at least on the internet. That's what people
Yeah.
are rumored to be saying. I'm not saying that's true.
because he
Allegedly,
scrapped all
don't
the rest of
know.
the dates for the year, right? I mean,
Yeah, but clearly something medical happened. He fell down at the house and went down and had to go to the hospital. And Gene had a car accident and is passing out on the medication. I'm
which
starting to
reminds
wonder.
me. I mean, we need to break this Deadpool tie. Otherwise, you know, we're going to end in a draw with just Ozzy and Ozzy.
Did we have Kiss guys on our list?
I didn't have any Kiss guys on my list.
I don't think that I did either. I think my list is over here.
I
somewhere.
thought
don't
I
think did
would have
either.
picked Ace or Peter, but no, I don't think. Let me look.
I don't think that any of them. We did have any Kiss guys. We weren't seeing that.
No, I have Mick Mars, Frankie Valli, Don Dokken, Blackmore, Vince Neil, Blotzer, Lou Gramm, Ozzy, who's gone, Barry Manilow, Alex Van Halen, Britney Spears, because she would be the one to get points on because she's so erratic. Justin Bieber, again, another one, kind of an erratic guy, and Mick Jones, which that's my list. So I didn't have any Kiss guys.
I have to dig mine out, but no, I don't think I had a Kiss guy on my list either. I don't think that was ever part of my equation there. But so yeah, that is kind of interesting that that both of them having these issues, and you think about it, they have things coming up because Gene's supposed to be in Vegas in November for a big Kiss thing with his buddies and pals, and he's still playing coy. Last time I checked a couple weeks back, he was still being asked about the drummer, and he was like, well, we don't know if Eric's going to be there or not, and so they're being all secretive about what they're doing there. And then we do know that Black and Blue and Jamie St. James.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So hopefully Gene can get it together for that, because Paul and Tommy and the boys are waiting for that in November. And then is the Kennedy Center thing January? I think it's the
January,
New Year
February, late January,
somewhere in the New Year. Yeah. So hopefully Ace and Gene are.
That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, they're supposed to appear at least as a band together, all four of them. I don't think they're going to perform, but they're probably going to have to accept an award and sit up there in the stands and watch someone perform a Kiss song or something. So
yeah, I wonder if Ed Trunk is going to go to that.
Gotta wonder, is John Astronomy going to be standing there?
Colostomy bag. Yeah. Right.
With some blue snakeskin boots. And
No kidding. Oh, those guys.
There's quite a few characters, if you think about, that might want to be around the peripheral areas. Even Tommy Thayer might be back there ducking around in case.
In case he needs to be. He needs to be a stand-in for Ace when he gets his award.
Sit up in the stand and have the medallion around him.
Around his fucking neck.
I'm just saying, there's times and needs to have these fill-ins, these people that can stand in case of a situation. And Paul and Gene are notorious for asking people to do this. Right. Remember, there's the stories that a couple times when Ace member was drunk or running late one time because of traveling or from somewhere else. He was running late in traffic, and then Doc was like, "Hey, Tommy, make sure you got a costume that fits, and you know how to put that makeup on."
Or maybe they'll bring the stunt man that was in Kiss Meets the Phantom that stepped in for Ace.
The black stunt man. Yes, that was one of the best ones ever. Even back, like, because I was too young when that was like 78 or something. So I was like 1 or 2 years old. Right. So I don't remember any of that. But later in the 80s, when I got into Kiss, and I went back and found my uncle had the VHS cassettes of the Exposed, and then he then all of them confidential later, but anyways, all at that live. Time, the different all those live ones, and so yes, but somewhere in there was the Phantom of the Park, and I remember borrowing that and throwing it on one night, and even at like I was 10 or 12, going, man, this is really cheesy, and then they showed it, and I was like, that's not Ace, that dude's not even white. What are they doing? And the voices you could tell were not
Oh,
their
yeah.
voices,
Yeah.
and so it was really cheesy and campy. But it's one of those things. I think if you're a Kiss fan, as like a rite of passage or something, you have to
Sure.
sit through one time or twice, maybe two times, Phantom of the
Right.
Park, and laugh at it. And it's kind of has that. If you're okay with the cheesiness of it, knowing it's going to be a stupid fucking thing, for the 70s, it kind of has a, I don't know, a unique way they put that together. I don't know.
Right.
So it's very common, I think, in those days, in the late 70s, early 80s, the effects and stuff, like when the thing comes out the guy's eye and all that stuff, is like so like of that time period. You're like totally thrown back to that era when that was what the best thing they could do for a special effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, so hopefully those guys get together, because we don't need, one to fall over before they even have the honor. That'd be kind of crappy. That'd move the whole thing to a whole different.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen. And so Ace, get well, and Gene, watch the medications. According to Shannon, you had new medications, and it threw you for a loop. So
yeah.
And I'm just going to go on the record and say, you're Gene Simmons. You don't need to drive, bro.
Right.
You're 70 something years old.
No
You
shit.
got $400 million in the bank. At a minimum, get an Uber or a Lyft.
Right.
They'd be pretty stoked to pick up Gene Simmons. At a
Or-
maximum, get a limo driver, or get a driver, a guy, your personal assistant guy, and say, you're in the fucking driver's seat, and I'm riding back here texting Ace, making sure he's okay.
Yeah.
So,
or you can get one of his leech kids to drive him around. I mean,
yeah, where's
they're
Nick
never gonna
at?
leave the
Why is
house.
he- Well, he's with Evan. They're doing their new album, and they're
Oh.
going to be the Stanley Simmons Kiss Kids,
Yeah.
and going to be barefoot, smoking weed, and doing Eagles, and I don't know, fucking Buffalo
Fleetwood Mac.
Springfield covers.
Yeah, no
or something,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something from Topanga Canyon, man, because that's where we grew up in L.A. with
but
our
get-
parents, bro.
What exactly are they doing? They're doing exactly what reality TV show contestants do, which is do other people's shit. I mean,
Yes, yep.
yeah.
That's very much what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. Have they said that's what they're doing for the album? Do we know if there's original compositions? Maybe Paul's
they
slipping
haven't-
them a song.
You would think they would have hinted at something, right? I mean, but no, it's
If
all
I
the
was
clips are
these
covers.
kids, I'd be like, okay, hold on. I got an opportunity here. My dad's Paul Stanley. Gene, you can say he might be hit and miss on his tunes, and Gene's going to write a kind of song that really only Gene can sing. How many guys can get up there and sing Domino? Or that's a Gene kind of thing, So I don't see Nick doing that, but I can see them going to Paul, who can write a good, well-rounded song that almost anyone could sing, and saying, "Hey, Dad, you got one in the well that me and Nick could use for our album," and it helps. Written by Paul Stanley or produced by Paul Stanley, if you were smart. I'm just saying. And then I don't know. I would be playing more upon that. Some ways it makes me feel like they're trying to not be the Kiss Kids, and I'm like, no, you're the Kiss Kids. We all know that's what we know you as. What are you doing? So I don't know. Who knows how that's going to turn out? But yeah, they have things popping, and these guys are getting old. Gene, get a driver, get someone in your crew to, even Ace. I would bet Ace doesn't drive anywhere. John Astronomy's doing the driving, or he's arranging a limo driver or a van, a shuttle driver from a hotel or something. They're not getting behind the wheel. Even Peter Criss and these guys, there's no chance Pete's hauling himself around New York or New Jersey. He's got someone else doing the driving. So come on, Gene, even though you're in LA and you think you have it all together, you're 74, 3. I mean, you're an older guy. So you're a senior citizen. So let's spare you. Let's spare your car. Let's spare the guy who had his car parked on the street, the other drivers who were having you swive by them and, whoa, this guy's what's happening. All that stuff they got to deal with, right? So yeah, it's not none of that. It's just you're in LA too. Like LA has a lot of people that'll drive you.
Right.
That's not like transportations. I mean, yes, it will take a long time to get where you're going, but there's Ubers and Lyfts and cabs and limousine companies left and right to take you where you got to go. So don't be cheap, Gene. Fuck, pay for a driver.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much all we got. If you can,
I think the one thing we need to do is
cover.
cover the Charlie Benante wedding if there's any stuff posted online, because that's happening. I think is it today or this? It happened this weekend, I think. So
I saw a mention of it, but I didn't know what the actual. I wasn't invited. Me and Billy Milano didn't get our invite.
I wonder if when Charlie asked Scott Ian to be part of the wedding party. He probably said, "I'm busy."
I think Scott would sack up and be like, well, okay, as our PB&J on the
the
reception
appetizers. Oh, geez.
Can me and Revel hit the bar at the reception?
Yeah.
I imagine those guys they kind of seem like they're, business wise and kind of tied in. They're Charlie's writing the riffs. Scott's got the lyrics. They're Anthrax, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah,
I would imagine
much.
that's and I would imagine Frank probably got an invite because that's Charlie's cousin, right? So familia type stuff, we'd have to have the family there. But yeah, I imagine Scott's probably on the short list of dudes that are outside the immediate family circles that are going to be at this event, and hopefully it goes well for them, and hopefully maybe they hired Butcher Babies to be the
entertainment. Yeah, the entertainment.
Maybe they got Scott's SOD, right? Get Danny up there on bass. With Jamie Josta singing. So do that, I don't think they were able to get Joey, and I know that Joey wasn't there, right? Because Joey's in Cabo, as I showed you guys on the video, and with Sammy in board shorts singing some Journey songs with Dean. So yeah, that was an interesting combo. Right. So he's having a party down there for Sammy's birthday. So which, by the way, I like, Sam, me and Ruben can use an invite. It's just right down in Cabo. Yeah. I mean, we go down there and cover it and shoot some video and hang out at your place and make sure we get a good birthday party going for you. And I also saw a video, Sam's a nice guy. He sang happy birthday to Dave too, because him and Dave's birthdays are like 2 days apart. So he went good and sang, it'd be cool if to blow the internet up and all Van Halen and rock people's minds, if right then David Lee Roth walked down the stairs and then they sat down and said, all right, let's do a duo and bury the hatchet, me and you, Sam. And I'd be there and go, what the fuck? It was Sam and Dave. Right. So, who knows? Maybe one day in their old age, they'll come together and have coffee and tea. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Well, I don't know if we have much more news to cover. We'll hope that there's a CMS next weekend. If not, we'll be back with whatever rock and metal news hits the intrawebs between now and then. We might be able to schedule a guest here because we are, as you know, the Ruben, and some talks with some people at so any Sundays here, we're gonna have to work that out. There will be another Unsolved Mysteries for the man who uses many prophylactics coming next weekend, so we will check that out. And I think the rest of you just be safe out there. Make sure you put your sweatshirt or your beanie cap on. Me and Ruben are in Oregon, and it's been raining and kind of cold here, and we're definitely turning into fall, which is my favorite time of year. Fall and winter actually are my favorite time. People say summer, but I'm not a sweater. I don't like to sweat all the time and be hot. I like to swim once in a while, but the rest of it, I'll just stay indoors. I'm much more of a jeans and a sweatshirt kind of a guy. So. Yeah. Well, good. All right, y'all. Let's hope everybody stays safe out there. We'll see if anybody falls over on our Deadpool list. And we got a new Cripple Claw nominee, the former press secretary, I believe, for the White House. So
Jen.
At the end of the we'll have to set up a poll at the end of the year, or after we get all 12 lined up, or whatever a year that is. I think we started this in June, and we'll put them up there for everyone to vote and see who they think should be the see who the claw of the year is. So. Maybe Evil will be brave enough, and I'll just print them up an award and a plaque, like I said, and mail it to him. Mail it to Arn Anderson or Don Dock. It'd be cooler if Don got it. If Don got it because it was his namesake award, and it was then that would be cool. Maybe get a picture of him and Wendell in New Mexico holding the award. So. All right, y'all. Be safe out there. Until next time. Bye, kids.
Raise your horns high.